Hello everyone, welcome back to our session on limits. Today we are going to deal with trigonometric, logarithmic and exponential limits. Before going into our topic, let us see what is known as sandwich theorem, which is also known as squeeze theorem. According to this theorem, if f, g and h are any three functions such that f of x less than or equal to g of x less than or equal to h of x for all x in some interval containing the point x is equal to c, and if limit x tends to c f of x is equal to limit x tends to c h of x, which let us assume as L, then limit x tends to c g of x must be equal to L. So let us see a problem based on this theorem. According to the problem, we have to find limit x tends to infinity x plus 7 sin x by minus 2x plus 13 using sandwich theorem. First let us see. We know that after seeing the limits problem, the first step we have to do is substitution of x. If we substitute, we can solve x minus 2x plus 13 as infinity simply. But what we will do for sin x? Sin infinity? We know that always sin x will be between minus 1 and plus 1. So this will be the range of sin x for all x. But we don't know when it is infinity because we don't know the exact value of infinity and we cannot calculate sin x. We can say this will be in this range for sure. So let us solve in this way. We have sin x range. So here we need 7 sin x. So we simply multiply with 7. We get minus 7 less than or equal to 7 sin x less than or equal to 7. Next we have x plus 7 sin x. So we simply add x for all the terms. So we get x minus 7 less than or equal to x plus 7 sin x less than or equal to x plus 7. So now we divide. While dividing, we have to remember that the signs must be reversed. So x minus 7 by minus 2x plus 13 greater than or equal to x plus 7 sin x by minus 2x plus 13 greater than or equal to x plus 7 by minus 2x plus 13. So this is valid for all x. So here from the theorem we can assume this as f of x, this as g of x and this as h of x. So we got the order. Now let us check whether this theorem is valid for these functions or not. So first we have to calculate limit x tends to infinity x plus 7 by minus 2x plus 13. We saw in the previous session how to calculate limits while x tends to infinity. So we get this as minus 1 by 2. Similarly, now we will calculate limit x tends to infinity x minus 7 by minus 2x plus 13. So we can find here that the same. This limit is also minus 1 by 2. So from the sandwich theorem or squeeze theorem, we can say that limit x tends to infinity g of x, that is the required function, x plus 7 sin x by minus 2x plus 13 is also equal to minus 1 by 2. Easy, right? Now let us see the evaluation of trigonometric limits. So in evaluation of trigonometric limits, we have to remember some of the formulas. In this session, I will derive and show how those formulas has come, but you have to remember those. First one is limit theta tends to 0 sin theta by theta is equal to 1. Let us see how we got this. Let us consider a circle of radius r and this point as A. And let us take a line which makes an angle theta with this. This point as B, and we will cut with a line which is tangent to point A and this line. So this point as P. So now from this diagram we can say that area of triangle OAB, OA and B, this triangle is always less than area of sector OAB. This sector, and this is always less than area of triangle OA and P. Right? This is for sure. Now let us expand this. What is the area of triangle OAB? We know this as R and this as theta. OAB. Area of the triangle is nothing but half base into height. So half into OA into OB sin theta. This is less than area of sector, which is nothing but half r square theta. And this is less than area of triangle OAP. This is simply right angle triangle. So we can say this as half into OA into AP. Now if we expand this, we get half r square sin theta is less than half r square theta is less than half r square tan theta. So from this we get sin theta is less than theta is less than tan theta. Now if we write tan theta as sin theta by cos theta, we get 1 greater than sin theta by theta is greater than cos theta. So simply we can compare. And this is true for all theta. And this is f of x. This is g of x, which we have to find. And this is h of x. We have to find the limit when theta is 0. So limit theta tends to 0, cos theta is nothing but 1. And limit theta tends to 0, 1 is nothing but 1. So we can say that limit theta tends to 0, sin theta by theta is always equal to 1. Similarly, if we want limit theta tends to 0, tan theta by theta, this is equal to limit theta tends to 0, sin theta by theta into 1 by cos theta. Now if we apply algebraic properties of limits, we get this as 1 into 1, since cos 0 is 1. So we get limit theta tends to 0, tan theta by theta is also equal to 1. Now let us see one more trigonometric function. Limit x tends to 0, 1 minus cos x by x square is equal to 1 by 2. This is very simple to derive because we know that 1 minus cos x is equal to 2 sin square x by 2. So we can write this as limit x tends to 0, 2 sin square x by 2 by x square. So if we divide with by 4 into 4, this can be expanded as 1 by 2 into limit x tends to 0, sin square x by 2 by x by 2 whole square. Just before we have seen that limit theta tends to 0, sin theta by theta is 1 for all theta. So the whole thing goes to 1. So we get 1 by 2. Limit x tends to 0, 1 minus cos x by x square is equal to 1 by 2. This is easier to derive, but it's better if you remember these three. Now let us see some problems. Limit x tends to 0 sin 3x by x. So this we can simply get because we know that limit theta tends to 0 sin theta by theta is 1. So if we simply multiply this expression with 3 and divide with 3, we get limit x tends to 0 sin 3x by 3x into 3. So we get 3 into 1, which is equal to 3. Now let us see one more simple problem. Limit x tends to 0 sin ax by sin bx. This can be solved in a very simple way because for both, if we multiply and divide with ax and bx, we get limit x tends to 0 sin ax by sin bx, right? So now let us multiply and divide with ax as well as bx. So this x and this x gets cancelled, and this, if we write x tends to 0 a by b into sin ax by ax into 1 by sin bx by bx. So now by algebraic properties of limits, we can write this as a by b. Since limit x tends to 0, which is nothing but limit ax tends to 0 and limit bx is also tending to 0. So limit x tends to 0 sin ax by ax is 1 and limit x tends to 0 sin bx and bx is also equal to 1. Now let us see one more. Limit x tends to 0 tan x minus sin x by x cube. Okay, now how we will solve this problem is, if we substitute x, what will happen? We will get 0 by 0 form. So let us expand tan x as sin x by cos x. So we will get limit x tends to 0 sin x minus sin x cos x by x cube cos x. Okay, now if we write this as limit x tends to 0 1 by cos x, and if we take sin x common from this, we get into 1 minus cos x. We can write x cube as x into x square. So this becomes 1 sin x by sin x, as limit x is tending to 0 goes to 1, and limit x tends to 0 1 minus cos x by x square goes to 1 by 2. So simply the answer is 1 by 2.